right. The EU's new AI Act is, well, it's a huge deal. But today, we're not going to try and tackle the whole thing. Instead, we're zeroing in on its sharpest teeth, the absolute no-go banned list. These are the AI practices that the EU has decided are just too risky to even allow. Let's get into it. So, what is it? What kind of AI is so dangerous that it crosses the line from being an innovative tool to being an unacceptable threat to our basic rights and freedoms? That's the big question, and the EU has answered it with a very clear list of red lines. Look, we all know AI has incredible potential for good, but it can also be misused in some pretty scary ways. And because of that, the EU decided they couldn't just regulate it. For some applications, they had to draw a hard line in the sand and ban them completely, just to protect people and our fundamental values. And if you want to know why they did it, well, here it is, straight from the regulation itself. This is the core reason. Every single thing on the banned list is there to prevent one of these three things: manipulation, exploitation, and social control. It's all about making sure technology serves us, not the other way around. Okay, first up, let's talk about AI that is designed to deceive us. This whole category is about shutting down systems that mess with our ability to make our own free and informed choices. So when the Act talks about manipulation, what does that actually mean? Well, it boils down to two main ideas. First, you've got AI that uses techniques that work below our level of awareness, subliminal stuff. And second, it covers AI that specifically exploits someone's known vulnerabilities to trick them into doing something they wouldn't normally do, something that causes them significant harm. And here they are, laid out for us. You can see the two big no-nos. On one side, you have a flat-out ban on those hidden, deceptive systems that mess with our judgment. And just as important on the other side is a ban on AI that preys on people's vulnerabilities, whether that's targeting a child, someone with a disability, or a person in a tough financial spot, all to twist their behavior. All right, next up is a big one: AI that judges us. This whole section is about preventing a future where AI systems are constantly scoring and ranking people based on how they live their lives. Now, this is a really important distinction to make. The AI Act is not banning every kind of evaluation. So a bank using AI and data to see if you qualify for one specific loan, that's fine. What is absolutely not fine is a general-purpose social score. A system that tracks everything you do to give you some kind of overall citizen score that can then be used against you in totally unrelated situations. And here's the legal language that really gets to the heart of it. The key phrase here is unjustified or disproportionate. Think about it. Should you be denied an apartment because an AI decided it didn't like your online activity? No way. That's a completely disproportionate consequence, and it's exactly what this rule is designed to stop. This one is also super interesting. The Act bans a certain kind of predictive policing. An AI system can't predict if you're going to commit a crime based only on profiling your personality or traits. The key word there is solely. It doesn't ban AI that might help a human officer analyze actual objective facts about a case, but it does ban systems that try to judge you based on who it thinks you are. And that brings us to our third and probably the most hotly debated category: AI that watches us. This is all about putting some really strict limits on how our most personal data, our biometrics, our faces, can be used. Okay, this first one is a hard and fast rule. It is now illegal to build or grow a facial recognition database by just scraping up every photo you can find online from social media, websites, or public cameras. This is a direct shot at stopping the creation of these massive, untargeted surveillance tools before they even get off the ground. This prohibition is super specific. Using AI to figure out how someone is feeling is banned in two very particular places: at work and at school. And the reason for this is the power imbalance. An employer or a teacher using AI to monitor your emotions is just considered way too intrusive. The only exceptions are for clear medical or safety reasons, like a system in a car that checks if a driver is getting sleepy. And here is another huge red line. It's now forbidden to use AI to analyze someone's biometric data, like their face, to then try and guess sensitive things about them, like their political views, their race, or their sexual orientation. Now, there is a tiny exception here, but it's only for law enforcement to label data they've already legally obtained. It's not for guessing new things about people. And now for the big one, real-time live facial recognition in public spaces by the police. Under the AI Act, the default rule is really simple. It's banned, period. But the law does recognize that there might be some extreme life or death situations where it could be necessary. So it carves out a few very, very narrow exceptions.
And just look at how incredibly high the bar is. First off, any use has to get permission from a judge beforehand, and it can only be used in these specific scenarios. A targeted search for a victim of a horrible crime like abduction, preventing a specific and imminent terrorist attack, or identifying a suspect for the most serious crimes out there, like murder. This is not for catching shoplifters. This is reserved for the absolute worst-case scenarios imaginable.
So, we've gone through this whole banned list. What's the big takeaway? Why does drawing these red lines matter so much for the future of AI?
In the end, it really all comes down to this. By putting these prohibitions in place, the EU is basically saying that innovation can't come at the expense of our fundamental rights and human dignity. The whole point is to create a world where we can actually trust technology because we know there are real safeguards in place to stop the worst abuses.
So, what should you really remember from all this? Well, this banned list is here to protect our ability to think for ourselves without being secretly manipulated. It's stopping a future of dystopian social scoring systems before they start, and it's putting some really powerful limits on mass surveillance to protect our privacy. You know, these rules aren't just about stopping bad AI. They're about creating the right conditions for good, trustworthy AI to actually succeed.
And that really leaves us with the final big question. The EU has drawn its lines in the sand, but as AI technology keeps evolving at this absolutely breathtaking speed, will these red lines be enough? Will they be able to guide us to that human-centric future everyone is talking about? Honestly, that remains to be seen.